Hello, friends. This is John Clan III of episode 97 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we're going to review What If Volume 2 that started in 1989, Issue 7. So let's get to it. Once again, thank you to Francisco for providing the theme song to the podcast. Appreciate it. And you. Um, and so this is What If Volume 2, Issue 7. What If Wolverine was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Cool Rob Liefeld cover with all two Nick Fury and Wolverine in the upper corner, with Spider-Man mask in the bottom left. This is comic book code approved. It would have cost you nope, $1.25 and $1.75 Canadian and 60 pence. And this would have came out in December 1989. There's an inside ad here for Jordan versus Bird one-on-one, which wonder what the contract was like for that. So oh yeah, and this came out December 1989. And Altu starts off, he has been known many names in the fullness of his life. Weapon X, Logan, Wolverine. In his time he has been a man of the wilds, a special agent for the Canadian government, and a member of the X-Men. For such was the course of his life took in your reality. But there are other worlds in the multiverse, realities separated by the thinness of curtains where destiny has taken a different course than one you know. I am the Watcher, and I have seen these other worlds, including one in which the man called Logan did not join the X-Men, but instead became known as Wolverine, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which makes me think about Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Stanley presents Jim Valentino, script and layouts, Rob Liefeld, pencils and inspiration, Scott Willems, brushes and quills, Ken Lopez, calligraphy, SFX, special effects, Tom Vincent, colors and hues, Craig Anderson, grumbles and complaints, and Tom DeFago, head honcho. We get a gorgeous double page spread here of Wolverine fighting the Hulk, well, and at the same time, Wendigo, a little triple threat match. There are turning points where one reality separates from another, a choice is made, a path is decided upon, and the course of destiny is irreversibly rerouted. These junctures originate at a common reference point in the multiverse. Such a point occurred during one of Wolverine's reported encounters as an agent of the Canadian government. Sent to intercept and by any means necessary halt the intrusion of the Incredible Hulk into Canadian territory, the diminutive mutant found himself battling both the gamma-ray irradiated Bruce Banner and the creature known only as the Wendigo. It happened in Incredible Hulk 180 through 181, which I own. And people don't tell you this, but Wolverine does appear in 182 as well, like in a quick recap of like the previous issues. So there's three appearances right there. And he's at the end of 180, so 181. I mean, it makes sense why they say like it's his first full appearance, but you might want to get 180 if you're trying to collect them all. Which I have. And maybe one day, I don't know, maybe it'd be more of a YouTube video to be like, here's proof I own it. But anyways, in the aftermath of this confrontation, each would go his separate way, with Wolverine soon to be called into service by Professor Xavier. Or or so it went in your universe. Oh, and for the feet check, you see everyone's feet in this widespread. So I don't know. I know Liefeld gets his criticisms, but there's feet galore in this issue. So, um, you, on this world, Logan would have picked up after the combatants had long since departed. Not by James Hudson alone, but also by SHIELD, which stands for Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division. So Fury has a special mission for Logan, and and Max here to be proof of like, yeah, we're lending you out, and Logan does not like being lent out like he's some type of piece of property. A short time later, the adamantium lace mutant arrives at the Shield helicarrier, and so Fury's giving Logan the tour, and we meet Black Widow with a full head of hair, and Duggan. And so the mission is that there's a bunch of life model decoys or LMDs, and Hydra has used them to infiltrate Shield, and so Fury wants Wolverine's help to find them all and destroy them. Which Logan smiles and goes, I was hoping you would say that, and then slashes Duggan straight through his stomach. And everyone's like, what? And Fury's um well, I imagine he's mad at one, his friend's been missing for so long, and two, they've had a decoy next to him for so long, and three, he didn't recognize the difference. And it really is a full head of hair on Natasha. The mutant unsleeves his razor-sharp claws from their housings in his forearms, and with an unbelievable speed and maliciousness, Guts Fury's second in command, much to the horror of the two witnesses. And since Wolverine has proven he's up to the task, he takes Black Widow and goes. They climb to the rafters to better conceal their movements through the gargantuan structure that is the helicarrier. Wolverine is attuned to every scent. Each body beneath him is an open book to his advanced olfactory senses. And once they both confirm they are ready, Wolverine, they both dive into the battle. They attack with feral intensity. No battle cries escape their lips. No words of bravado urge them on. They have no need of such things, for they are the best at what they do. Which is weird, as the last thing they said was, "Is that you ready? I was born ready. Yeah, I bet you were." And then like he says that as he's heading like face first into the battle. So is that not a battle cry then? And they just start slashing and blasting, and what they do isn't very nice. And then Wolverine has to stop Black Widow from shooting a new guy, but he's human and he must have just showed up late to this gathering, which I feel bad then because they're all robots except for this one guy. And so now that the helicarrier's been cleansed, they can they meet up again and they're trying to find the location for Hydra's base. And they've located it, and Fury wants Logan to do whatever he wants to do, but Fury's going to lead the assault team. Oh, and at one point, Black Widow's like holding like a bunch of her hair, and Logan says he can solve that problem. And it's not until 2 pages later, it's like, oh no, he did give her the classic short haircut of hers. And Madame Hydra's there, Baron Strucker is there, who's the worst. Dum Dum Duggan's tied up. And we just get them like slowly making their way to Madam Hydra. It is, or Viper. I always like calling her Viper, but maybe it's just to distinguish, like distance herself from a little bit from Hydra. It is you who should not underestimate them. They are fierce fighters and they intend to win. Strucker says to Viper. And then Viper's like, so do I, Air Baron, so do I. The woman with the verdant hair laughs. It is a laugh without any humor, a laugh without any trace of humanity. And it's also fun because in Wolverine 125, uh, for a short time, Wolverine marries Viper for mana poor reasons. So it's always interesting seeing them together. The battle stretches on for what seems for them like an eternity. Hydra agents like waves upon a beach just keep on coming, but they keep on falling, human and android alike. Though outnumbered, Shield will not be outfraught. And it's pretty fun too because she goes from her long hair, classic black uniform, yellow belt look to immediately gets her haircut and her more 90s uh, gray look with a high collar. So that's just fun. Like, oh yeah, she's doing it. And so they're coming closer and closer. They blast through the door and they are ready. And then Strucker has his Satan claw, which you can just tell, like, not only is he a Strucker and Hydra and proud, but he uses a Satan claw, which is just, which hand is it? His right hand, the big old metal red glove that glows and instantly pours out death. So as he's taunting, a low growl swells up within him until it explodes, and then Wolverine oh yeah, in unfiltered fury, which is weird. I don't use fury when Nick Fury's in the title. Like, come on, there's other adjectives. With one motion, Wolverine lunges across the room. His razor-sharp adamantium claws sever the Satan claw from Baron's wrist, rendering it useless, and the Baron himself helpless before a man more animal than human. And even as he strikes, deadly Black Widow spins on her heels and without one word of warning, just turns and shoots Viper. Wolverine still growling as he splits out the words, "Say your prayers, bub. You're dead meat." He hears a "Hold it, Logan." Ready for the kill, his blood seething with feral intensity, he turns toward the one who would seek to deny him his prey. If Fury wants to fight him, the Wolverine looks deep into the Fury's eyes, which seems like, come on, we all know he only has the one eye, but he recognizes this as being far more than just another scrape. This is a blood feud, and only one of their deaths will end it, which seems weird. So, like, any beating Fury gets after this, it's like, well, it could have been over 10 minutes ago, buddy. Because they do fight and fight and fight. And then more, like, SHIELD agents come in, but they're wearing, like, these yellow outfits that make them look like AIM. So I don't know why that was the choice, but I noticed it earlier, too. I was like, well, alright. And Fear, and he's telling them to hold back, like Fury wants to do this. And just then, Fury grabs, because of the glove was ripped off his hand. He's just been like sparking. The wires have been sparkling, and Fury notices an outlet and just like throws his Strucker's hand or would be hand in there. Thousands of volts of electricity course through Baron Structure's body until all that is left is a smothering husk and the pieces of his crumbled dream to pick up. And so Fury's shaking Wolverine's hand, thanking him. Bunch of feet in this panel. And if he wants, Wolverine can join Shield because, like, him being a Canadian agent, it's just a matter of red tape. So he'll take care of that too. And Wolverine's like, great, let's do it. And we get an awesome page of like just adventures. Nick Fury was able to clear it with the Canadian government, and the man called Wolverine became one of Shield's most valuable agents. Whether he was battling foes such as Mordok or AIM, oh yeah, Autu then takes over the narration, or fighting alongside allies like Captain America or the Black Widow or Fury himself. Wolverine proved himself to be a valuable asset to the organization. He quickly earned himself a position as Fury's second in command, an exalted station for one not born in the U.S. But so it would come to pass that this reality, on a fateful day several months later, Agent Wolverine would receive a strange visitor. And so I guess all this happened before Giant Size X-Men, to give you like an idea of where in the timeline this is. At SHIELD headquarters. Alright, gents, I'm here. But who's the bigwig you want me to meet? I am the bigwig Wolverine, Professor Charles Xavier, at your service. Am I supposed to be impressed? I've come straight to your point. You, my friend, are a mutant, and I have need of mutants. Desperate need. Yeah, I wish I could help you, Chuck. But I'm right in the middle of something big here. And Nightcrawler is behind Xavier, which makes me think this is the giant size recruitment. No, I should probably look at giant size again. Like, I want to say Nightcrawler is there too, right? Tell you what I can do for you, though. Me and Shield can keep our eyes on you and make sure no one gives you or your people no trouble. You might even be able to lend you a hand once in a while. So it would be that in this reality, Wolverine would not join the new X-Men, and Professor X would have one less recruit. And I'm pretty sure my memory of Giant Size is Wolverine barely does anything in there except causes grief when Thunderbird's not causing grief. But even as the two mutants speak, Wolverine's. Oh, hey, actually, I got um X-Men. Oh, what's this thing called? Grand Design Second Genesis, which is in a gorgeous oversized trade. And they reprint Giant Size in the back of it. So let's see here. There's Colossus. There's Storm. Oh, here we go. Um, Xavier greets him. He's the big wig. Oh yeah, so he recruits Nightcrawler, and for whatever reason, it's not like an RPG where the person you recruit helps you recruit the next person. Then he recruits Banshee. He recruits Storm. So what's all the X-Men doing? They're just hanging out at the mansion while, but also at the same time not meeting Scott. Yeah, okay, so yeah, no Nightcrawler there. So I guess Rob Liefeld was like, "Hey, I want to draw Nightcrawler," and it's like, "I get it, buddy." So it would be in that reality, Wolverine would not join the new X-Men, and Professor X would have been one less recruit. But even as the two mutants speak, Wolverine's big, which is weird. There's three. Oh yeah, and Wolverine's in a Shield uniform, which is awesome. Wolverine's big project is about to make his presence known. Its target, Nick Fury's flying Ferrari. Fury's flying Ferrari. Oof, alliteration. As the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. cruises over the city streets, he is suddenly and savagely attacked. And Strucker's back, and with a Satan Claw again, by a ghost. Strucker's LMD grabs for the Ferrari's steering wheel in a suicidal attempt to wrest it from Fury's grasp, but the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. clings to it tenaciously, refusing to let it go. The struggle causes the vehicle to spin and roll in mid-flight until finally Fury manages to overturn it, and gravity does the rest. As Strucker's LMD just lands on its face, the robot smashes it to pieces on impact. Its work, unfortunately, nearly complete. The rolls and maneuvers have wreaked havoc with the car's guidance system, causing it to careen out of control right toward the battery park, where lovers stroll and children play in the warmth of the day. Fury shouts at them all to get out of the way. Using all the strength and skill of his command, Colonel Fury steers the vehicle into the river. Only by staying. Oh yeah, but there's a Circle K line coming up as well. So he's like, I gotta pull up even more. Only by staying with the barely controllable vehicle is he able to avoid any civilian casualties. But at the greatest cost of all. Because I guess if he had jumped out, then it could have easily started steering one way or the other. The SHIELD helicopters arrive in time to see the explosion. There are no remains, only debris. Arlington National cemetery 3 days later. You gotta make sure these people don't come back to life. You gotta give them those 3 days. It worked for Jesus. America lays to rest one of the last true heroes of World War II. It is quiet ceremony, a solemn ceremony without the media hoopla a man at the colonel's station might expect. He would have liked it. No telling if Captain America's there. And Duggan's like, they offered me the directorship. I turned them down. I'm gonna retire. It just ain't the same without Nick. I recommended you for the duty, Logan. I appreciate it, Duggan, but I don't think the U.S. government are gonna turn over the reins of this top spy agency to its latest recruit. Which seems weird. Like, he's clearly been working there for a while. Like, they must have recruited someone in, like, the sciences by now. Yeah, Nick figured the same. He already cut through the red tape. They're ready whenever you are, Runt. And then we get to the page I'm going to post on when I upload this episode. And we see Fear or Wolverine, excuse me, reviewing some files, and we get some images to go with Altu's narration. The man called Wolverine did indeed become the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., a circumstance that would have a profound effect on the mutants of this reality. Wolverine used his authority to stop Stephen Lang from recreating the Sentinels, which I didn't know who this was, but yeah, Stephen Lang, Sentinel, and we see the Phoenix. Thus, the woman called Jean Grey would never venture to the moon to try to stop him. In this reality, would never know Dark Phoenix. Further, Wolverine used his position to discredit Senator Robert Kelly and defeat his Mutant Registration Act. This is, and then we see Senator Kelly up here. This has not only halted the government's persecution of mutants, but it also averted the dark future foretold by Kate Pride Rasputin. It is seriously all it takes to get me to buy a comic book. So now I'm trying to be a little more judgy and only buy Lockheed appearances, but whenever I'm at Kelly's Comics in Great Falls, if I notice there's some uh, Kate Pride appearances, I'll pick them up. So yeah, so we see those four characters, the White House, and then we see the gravestones from the Days of Future Past storyline. This once savage beast man would, through his influential position, teach this reality to peacefully coexist with its mutant population. And for that alone, his name would be revered for all posterity. The end. So, no Dark Phoenix, so I'm trying to imagine. Imagine Potia still happens. I imagine they still recruit Kitty Pryde and attempt Dazzler, but then do the Hellfire um Club try to trick Jean, or if there's no Dark Phoenix, or if she never becomes Phoenix at all, then do they even go to the Magneto base and get separated? Um, I imagine all their fights are just a little bit harder without Wolverine. Does Thunderbird die, or does he keep it together? Well, there's some questions here. There's a fun what if Aunt May was a mutant with claws, and Peter and Mary Jane are trying to get out of. Oh, written by John Rossum, pencils by Jim Valentino, which is interesting as he wrote this issue. So, Robert Panadelli did Pamanella did inks, Ken Lopez did letters, and Harry Byzantine did the colors. So they're trying to get out of not eating dessert with her, and she pops her Wolverine claws. They do go snick snick, and they go, "Oh yeah, we do want to eat your Dutch apple pie. It's delicious." And then there's "What if Captain America hadn't been thawed out?" A Fields Milcoke counter aerial Joyce Eisenstein production. And there's some nice Eskimos taking $2 pictures with Captain America, which seems irresponsible. Like, they found him, they figured out, they recognize who he is, and still charging $2 to take pictures next to him. Like, maybe tell someone about it. What if the Punisher didn't use guns? And you just see him spanking a a criminal, and no TV for a week. Another criminal's in the corner room with a dunce hat. Another one's writing, I would not make bombs. I would not make bombs on a chalkboard. And then there's some letters. Letters from Robert Pelton from Valdosta, Georgia. Douglas J. Carney from Salisbury, Maryland. Doug Lipman from San Francisco, California. Joe Crestantano from Waterbury, Connecticut. Chris Benito Ropes from Parsippany, New Jersey. John Fischbach from Knoxville, Tennessee. Jay Flounder Highfield from Vestal, New York. Charles Isidore from Staten Island, New York. Russ Slappy Hamilton from Belleville, Washington. Nathan Baker from Lilburn, Georgia. Aaron Mr. Hate Sims from Washington, Indiana. Shane Hutchinson from Nasru Bay, Texas. Eric Mees from Dunwoody, Georgia. And Brad Joff from West Orange, New Jersey all got letters, and their addresses fully printed. And next issue, what if Iron Man lost the Armor Wars? Which, um, we're not going to review, as this was our last issue in in our What If coverage, which was pretty nice. Oh yeah, and let's see here, Mile High Comics I bought this from, and apparently I bought the good edition, which I don't know, it reads perfectly fine to me. So whatever my money I saved probably went to buying more comics. So, um, so this is December 27th. We are going on like day 5 of fighting the flu, but my wife's taking a nap, so I was like, well, let me record an episode because I've been wanting to do it, and waiting to do it at night, I just fall asleep. So, my lovely wife got me a pair of AirPod Pros. So curious if you noticed the difference of how it sounds. Hopefully, it's clearer. I think I had to change the ear thing to be smaller, as this one keeps my right ear one keeps wanting to pop out, so it makes me not as confident. Um, I'm gonna put that picture. I'm gonna put that page up on Instagram and Twitter at SNFWM, and all spelt out. You can follow me on Twitter, YouTube. Oh yeah, YouTube. I did all my nerdy stuff I got for Christmas in a fun little video. So I got spoiled pretty rottenly. I also got this cute Locky plush that stared at me the entire time I recorded, and I love it so much. And then on Etsy, if you type in Locky the Dragon, there's this other purple dragon, and I wanted him so much. And my wife I imagine she bought it first, and then I told her about the Bleacher Company made a limited edition Lockheed, and was like, well, I want this as well. So now I got 3 cute purple dragons, but one of them was Fish Show merchandise that they finally sold me a Lockheed plush, so I appreciate that. And I guess Miss Marvel was also watching me as I recorded, but I only made eye contact with Lockheed. Um, so I read X Force came out this week, and Immortal X-Men came out, and then there's um Secret War Secret War Battle World came out, and issue 2, and still no Lockheed in that comic. So, and I doubt Kate Pride or Magic show up in the other 2 issues, but so no new issues. I wanted to make sure I got this recorded before the new year. I'm like, I think I could do this in January. The bonus episodes are going to be for issue 42 issues, as I'm gonna turn 42 in a January, which my wife's already like, what do you want for your birthday? Which I'm like $60 to Mile High Comics would be amazing, which I haven't told her that. I bit my tongue. But so yeah, I should have. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure why I didn't just answer the question. Is I definitely want money for back issues, and Mile High Comics does free shipping with $60 purchase. So I'm like, well, then it might as well be $60. And and then once I have that, you know, purposely wait for a good 40% off back issues or something, and then make it through the list. Though I know getting some of those Marauder issues is gonna be costly, but not as costly as what um like House of X1 and the Marauders, like the actual first 6 issues of Marauders Volume 1 was a pretty penny, but I imagine once we get further along, they're going to become cheaper. So that's been nice. But yeah, I had a lovely Christmas. So hopefully you all had a happy holidays. And um so yeah, issue 42, and then I'm going to slowly work on my back issues if they don't release comics. Um the new comics that are worth reviewing on this podcast. That's all about Kate Pride, Lockheed, and Magic. So, or Shadow Kate, I guess I should say. Um, as she is using a code name, everybody. And so, thank you everyone for listening, and I will talk at you next time. All right, everyone. Thanks. Bye.